Hi everybody, welcome to the QB School. I'm JT O'Sullivan. Today's video, brought to you by our official sponsor, Mr. 1920, is on Baker Mayfield. Consistently inconsistent. My goodness, the video doesn't lie. Let's get it started. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, just want to say a word from our official sponsor for this video, Mr. 1920. Mr. 1920 men's natural bar soap made in the USA. Mr. 1920 makes natural bar soaps for men that don't dry out your skin, ditch the plastics, and return to the classics. Mr. 1920 offers wild citrus, French lavender, cool water, my old junior high cologne, eucalyptus falls, my favorite charcoal aloe, oat milk and honey, cedarwood tree, and of course, mountain sage. Mr. 1920 is a small business that makes all natural soap for men that doesn't dry out your skin. Pick up the QB School Starter Bundle, which consists of my favorite scents, or make your own bundle with the link in the description. Thanks so much. Let's get back to the video. So Baker Mayfield, in this game, I thought he played really well at the start of it, and really everything up in the first half, up until that last 2-minute drive to end the first half, where he misses a handful of throws that we'll talk about in this video. I thought he played really well. I think they're doing a nice job of constructing plays for him to thrive. And what I mean by that is getting outside the pocket, a little bit cleaner lanes to be able to deliver the ball on time and take advantage of what that special set of perimeter players can do on the edge as far as double moves, running away from people, creating opportunities through their route running to create space down the field to deliver the ball. From the pocket, I think that there's where the inconsistently starts to kind of flourish for me. And so it's a combination of both trust as far as letting the ball rip on time. And so whether that's a thing that it's a kind of a history for him as far as it's just different than probably what he was asked to do in college in the air raid type of things where you're throwing to grass, where you're seeing guys being able to come open. For me, Sundays are a little bit more precise as far as the footwork, tethered to the concept, tethered to the timing, tethered to the look. And so being able to deliver the ball with the perfect rhythm that your footwork and your drop rely on you to do from the pocket. And so for whatever reason, it's consistently just a little bit off or a half tick late, whether he's up on his toes or he's heel clicking or he's just not trusting what he's seeing from the pocket. It's not as consistent as it is other places where he's outside the pocket, either making plays on the move or natural boots or moving the pockets, movements, keepers, those types of plays where he's thriving. And he's always been a very accurate passer to me. And so I love for him to get out there and take advantage of those things. I just think I look for his development to not only be able to put more than, the majority of one half together, but to be able to then also do it from the pocket consistently. And so that's where I'm talking about when I talk about consistently inconsistent. It's not necessarily a huge knock. It's just an assessment of where he's at right now. And so it's great to be able to do that and keep winning, have that type of room for growth with continuing to win, I think is a great way to learn. Sure as hell better than getting your teeth kicked in every single week. But I would look for some sort of significant improvement from his ability to just get the ball out on time consistently from within the pocket and drive it down the field like he does with the play actions and the movements and the nakeds and those types of things where he already does push the ball down the field with some consistency. So you can see the footwork element, I think, is the one thing that jumps off the film more than anything else. And but there are obviously some great throws that he starts with. I just look for it to be putting that consistent full game together. That's where I think there's so many good young quarterbacks in the league right now. For whatever reason, they've put together bigger chunks of high-level play more than just the one-off every, other half or something like that. And so that's what I'm talking about when I talk about consistently inconsistent, and just the film doesn't lie. It is what it is, and there's an opportunity for growth. I think he'll recognize that. I think everyone in the organization will recognize that, and it's about being able to take advantage of that and get better quickly as the season wears on. All right, Baker Mayfield, some big plays down the field. Right here, this first one, big one across his body going to his left. Landry down here at the bottom of the screen going over to the corner, back to the over or post. That's a big time throw. Across the field, doing a really nice job constructing some plays here, offensive architecture-wise, to get him out of the pocket, clean, throws down the field, using his athletic ability outside the pocket, not necessarily to create running down the field, but creating opportunities for him to throw there. Just a big time throw all the way across the field. Not the easiest throw in the world. And there were a number of these off play action early in this game. Really, this is a combination of play calling as far as the design, the formation, shifting to it, a lot of shifts and motions. Design-wise here, love this concept from the wide receiver down here at the bottom of the screen. Going to come over here, and normally when you get any sort of boot, you're going to get this type of over route where they're just going to run usually about 20 yards to the opposite number. This time he's going to come into the over, and they do this a few times, and then lean back out like he's going to go to the corner or to the shake, a little post shake. And then this thing is longer, I think, than most of these throws. I wouldn't necessarily, this is normally called where you come up here, fake the post, fake the corner, run to the post. That's a little bit more Dino-ish. This is more over, corner, and then this is back to the over because it's a bit flatter all the way across the field. It's just a unique route, and they run it a handful of times in this game and hit it a few times. But it takes a long time to develop. Over, corner, all the way back. You can see what it does to the middle field player from the back end too. Just a really nice job by Baker being able to get out there. This is not the easiest throw in the world. Many guys would not love making this throw, going to your left, flipping your hips, and driving it all the way across the field to the opposite numbers. Again, nice fake. Would say just play it detail-wise here. Love to see that offhand right there. His right hand on his gut, on his torso, so you don't see that empty hand. Come around, flip your hips. That's a big-time throw. All the way across the body. A little bit behind him, but pretty special throw. Great job, early play call, constructing the play to get a shot down the field. And they do it a handful of times as far as getting him outside the pocket. Again, shift, motion. You know, I'm not sure exactly necessarily why they do it all the time. They sure love to do it. But right here, Landry again on the over, coming towards us this time. This is an absolute dime, getting him outside the pocket. Again, it looks like he's really covered. Really, that linebacker is only covering the width of his shoulders. We'll talk about here. But again, they shift from the I to 3x1. Now they're going to motion Landry across. You see the linebackers boss over, get a little confused with the DB. Can't get lined up. Watch 58 try to run with Landry. Now that dude can run. He's running with an NFL wide receiver, but he never turns his back. He never turns his head around. So really all he's covering is the width of his shoulders. So it looks like it's tight coverage, and Baker does a great job about being able to see these types of coverage opportunities. Again, shift, motion, and then when he motions across, now we get to a 2x2, and we can see what this does as far as the route. It's a long way to run. Again, they're creating things for these guys to run all the way across the field, whether double moves or what, running all the way across the field. But 58 right here is going to get sucked up on the run, and then he's going to turn and run. And he's looking at the wide receiver, Landry, the whole time. He never turns his back. So really all he's covering is the width of his shoulders. He's not going to make a play on the ball. They get a touchdown in a similar coverage later that I'll show. But again, nice job fighting through it. Again, outside the pocket, so things are a little cleaner, easier to see, better timing. Really nice job, big time catch. Again, a lot of shifts and motions. It's not necessarily my flavor, especially when guys aren't running around. You're just bossing over gaps there for the linebackers. 58 up, nope, around. Great job seeing it. You can see, watch Baker's eyes here. He sees the over and goes to check if there's anybody out there. Just that subtle little look out to the left. It's clear, lay it out there. Again, how about the linebacker not turning his head? Late hands from Landry. Nice job, beautiful execution. But you can start to see the pattern as far as play action, outside the pocket potentially, some over double move type routes. Again, right here, motion across. Now we're in a little 1x3 nubber, little draw fake, and basically just an old school sail. It's a little bit better just with the, again, that fake over element or post. So it's not quite as clean as just an old school corner and with a go route. But again, Landry down here at the bottom of the screen, right outside the hash, he's going to come up, fake that over, and then get into the corner. Again, off play action, this time a little bit better with that offhand. Up, great pocket movement. Again, this was probably one of my favorite throws from him within the pocket. Driving this thing, keeping it away from what I'm going to say is the near defender. This is really just a high-low out here on the corner. Again, we're motioning 1x3 nub. That nub refers to the tight end up top with no wide receiver, all by himself. Concept-wise here, again, clean, easy throws, good reads. We're running basically a clear route right here. And the ball goes here to Landry. He comes up, leans into the over, and then comes out into the corner. But when he runs out into the corner, oftentimes you'll get this, and then this corner's way kind of a ball that's thrown over the top here. But right here, because he gets up into it and leans into it, there's a flat defender here. Because this tight end or eligible here, bang, collisions here, and then gets out into the flat. So really, at the end of the day, there's a check flat and there's a corner. And really all they're trying to do is high-low this flat defender, and Baker does a nice job of drilling it in here, of driving it to the hole away from the near defender. So again, watch Landry with that route, lean into that over, there it is. There's the high-low down here on the flat defender. Really nice job. Love Baker climbing in the pocket here. Had some pass pro issues, whether it was from the left tackle, right guard right here, climbing up. Nice job drilling it, working towards his target. Big time throw. Again, off play action, creating potential double moves down the field for clean, not easy, but more open than just straight up beating man coverage or going to read a zone player. Little play action fake. Again, I love the quick subtle movement. No panic. Over, up, drive. Boom. You can see that. It looks like it's behind him because the way that he has to catch it, but you can see how he throws it away from the near defender on the 30. Really nice job. Love it. So this is really where he was at his best, and he was at his best for a lot of the first half. 4th and 1 here. Put this one on here just because this is how you use motion. This is OBJ faking going across, faking coming back. There it is, a little zigzag, often called, for a big-time 4th and 1. And this absolutely crushes the soul of the Colts defense as far as their communication. You can watch the DB come across. At the end of the day, 54 is covering OBJ from right there. That's it. That's the matchup we're looking for. Those are the droids we're looking for. Again, there was so much shifting in motion, it almost kind of puts you to sleep that eventually you catch them in man and really make them kind of eat their coverage. So again, we're coming across. So this causes the DB to run, and now he's thinking, oh man, oftentimes you'll have this where he just runs into the flat real quick, easy conversion. So he comes across, makes this guy come across, then he comes back. Now they think, now this normal play is quick into the flat. So the guy has to run across and then come all the way back. Not easy to do. But this is next level, the old triple deke. Comes back, and then puts his foot in the ground and goes back out to the original move. So really what it does here is causes all sorts of issues out here. He comes over, then he comes back, and he doesn't even see the ball get snapped. The ball gets snapped right about here. He's way over here trying to communicate to this side who's got him. Then it leaves 54. He's got the number 2 out to his side, and it's just unfair. So you can watch the communication, 26. No, you take him. They're trying to rock and roll the safeties. Just too easy. Great scheme. Beautiful architecture there from that play. It's even better from the back end. See where 54 is right now? He's going to be the one who ends up covering OBJ in the flat. But what happens here is 26 comes across. Now he goes back. Now he's trying to tell 32, hey, you got to rock and roll this thing. Meaning that now you're going to bump this thing down, and I'll go back to the middle. But at the end of the day, what happens is 23 has the number 1 out, who's right here. When OBJ comes back this way, he is now the number 2 out. So the number 2 out is 54, and that's just not fair. That's not going to work defensively. And watch how fast it happens. I mean, come on. Good luck. One more time, you can see it in real time how hard it is to do some of these switches. Come across. No. It's over. Again, subtle movement from the quarterback outside the pocket. A little reverse out on the move. Nice. Beautiful. Cool conversion. Next one here, 3rd and 3. Touchdown. Again, this is another example of a few different things for me. The first one, the most obvious, great play outside the pocket. Again, the defensive back or linebacker, defensive player doesn't have his head looking at the ball. So when we pause this thing at the end of this scramble, he is able to, has no chance to make a play. So see on the back line, 27 back there, he's got his head is not turned around. You can throw it anywhere. It looks like he's covered, but in the NFL, this is not covered. If they don't turn their head around, they're only covering the width of their shoulders. So again, it looks like it's super tight coverage, and it is tight coverage. It's just not good coverage. And he has, as long as I ever remember watching Baker, he's able to do that easier than most players. Now, the only thing here about this touchdown that I will say is I would love to see, I can't tell you what the read is, not in the room. What I'm going to guess is the read here is a little clear here. Then we're going to run basically a little out. So again, down here, this is not really an option unless you love the matchup. A little out here. So really out to up top here. They basically get a little like jerk move coming across here. Someone in the front, someone in the back. And again, I'm not sure which is which on the who's who in the zoo over there. And then this little reverse whip or looky thing. And so for me, I would love for him to go no to the out, no to the jerk, no to the back line. I want to talk about the back line. And then yes to the loop. That loop is open. And so can you get through that fast, that 4? I would think that you could. The other thing about running the back line, whoever's got the back line back here, when you come up, a little trick of the trade here for wide receivers, not that it's wide receiver school, but stay in the logo when you're running these things. Run it on the back line of the logo. If you run it on the back line of the end line, inevitably a good DB will nudge you out of bounds. You'll see the back judge throw his hat and you're done. You're cash on the play. So play these routes on the back of the team names, of the logos in the end zone. So then you give yourself usually a yard plus as far as being able to either jump up and make a play, that high back 5 type of a throw, just a little trick of the trade. So first, let's watch the read down here to the bottom. He'll say no to the out. Okay, we're off the out right there. Come back to the jerk, coming across the shallow, no to the shallow. Back line, again, work the back of the logo, not the back of the end zone. You can see he runs himself out of bounds there. And then the loop, the number 3, there it is. That loop's a touchdown. So can you go through quick out, jerk, backline, loop? I think he could right there. So I would like him to get to the loop within the pocket. Now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, playing from the pocket, full field progression. Not easy to do. Not saying that everybody can do it. But I think that's the next evolution for a guy who can take it to another level from within the pocket. Again, no to the out, no to the drive or jerk. Watch his eyes. Out, no. Drive, jerk, no. Backline, no. Stay in bounds, bro. Don't get pushed out of bounds. Landry, pushed out of bounds. There comes the hat. There it is. Just like that. Okay, so no jerk, no backline, yes looper. Okay, you get outside the pocket, be you. And you are throwing it when people aren't looking. Got their backs turned, great vision, excellent execution, get a curl in. Love it. So even on great plays, there are just little subtle things where he can continue to really improve. Down here, we got OBJ running a big, again, that over, corner, over, and this is just, to me, not great safety play on the back end more than anything else. It's a big-time catch. It's a great throw. Nice play design. Again, off play action, big move. Still, if you're coaching the Colts DBs here, you would love that middle field player to make a play on this. Again, offhand, a little bit better there. Come around. You can see lots of space. To me, I would say this is probably a half tick late. Watch when he lets this thing go. Just that little, a little toesy, little half stutter late there for me. I think he could drive that thing as soon as he comes out of it. Right, drive it. It's that little extra hesitation. Makes it even harder than it has to be, but that's still a big-time throw. Always been a fan of Baker's kind of accuracy as far as balls up, easy to catch, throat, head area. But again, watch this route from OBJ down here at the bottom. Not everybody can do these types of things that they can do on the perimeter with Cleveland. That's wide open. That's running wide open. But again, what is the middle field player doing? Can't let him off the hook here as far as, that's not going to work very long on Sundays. So again, taking shots down the field, constructing plays with double moves, off play action, shifts, motions, get the setup you want to be able to let it rip down the field to your playmakers on the perimeter. Nobody around him. Oh man, that's almost a penalty. Jeez. Is that the tight end, 88? What? Ooh, that's close to being a penalty. Can't engage somebody low if they're engaged up high. It's also just a clownish block. Big time catch though. Then this one was probably my favorite of the day. This is a touchdown off a seam. This is probably as much a defensive error as it is a great throw by Baker. We're throwing a touchdown seam to the number 2 down here to the bottom of the screen. Nice job being able to take advantage of a safety and linebacker play that's just not good enough. Design-wise, again, I love it how they shift the back out, get the look they're looking for. We'll talk about the coverage, but you can see the safety 37 up top. There's some communication error here on a few different levels. Just the pure design of the play, though. Love being able to take a shot down the field. Again, I think Baker throws these seams just about as well as anybody. Shift out. There it is. You can see the corners down here is a little confused. The scheme-wise here, at the end of the day, here's the touchdown. Here's where he's trying to go originally. And I think there's something underneath here. So, and then there's an outside release up top. So for me, the first thing to pay attention to here is at the end of the day, this is really a 2-on-1. You're putting a 2-on-1 on this safety right here. But how we get there is a little construed, because this to me looks like a match situation, a man match situation for everywhere except these two. For whatever reason, these two routes nobody runs with. So when I'm saying match, I mean people are playing man coverage here originally, man principled coverages running with these guys on the perimeter here, not on the seams for whatever reason. So what makes me think that there's some sort of miscommunication between these two right here for not running with him. The next thing I want to talk about is just the safety play here. So the safety play, when you're running 2-on-1 here, and that's all this is a variation of all go, 2-on-1 right there. And you're playing some sort of split field coverage, meaning that we have two safeties back here. Well, when he takes himself out of a vertical threat, so he's not running vertical, you think he runs like some variation of jerk here, coming across a little shallow, and you get an outside release by the number 1. Well, now that corner has him man-to-man. Now this safety, theoretically, should be poaching or coming over to the number 3, which I think he is, which should then be able to help communicate or push this guy to stay on the top of number 2. So that's what I'm talking about, communication on the back end. So let's first watch the match element of the underneath coverage. See the 3 guys who are matching and the 2 inside that aren't. See how the corners are matching, playing variation of man. The slot up top is playing a variation of man match. But now we're letting the 2 and the 3 down here run free. So to me, that's a little confusing. Next, watch that safety up top. He's definitely coming over to poach number 3 there. Now, he might be looking at Baker's eyes, but he's going to make a play on that number 3. So to me, that tells me the safety down here to the bottom could hang more with number 2. So in short, I think there's an error as far as being able to match and run with 3 and 2 here. And then I think the safety down here to the bottom needs to be heavy on number 2 with the idea that that safety up top is getting pushed over, or at least when he gets pushed over, they need to have some sort of communication to allow him to say heavy over number 2. So watch 37 over here. 37, top left of the screen. He's communicating with the other safety. Definitely talking, making some sort of call. He's hunting up number 3 the entire way. In fact, he never looks to the number 1 out to his side. He's poaching that in the entire way. So they have 2 safeties. Watch both the safeties coming into 85. And Baker's already off of it. He looks like early no, outside yes. I love Baker's accuracy. Again, throwing it away from the near defender, up high, throat area. Just a really nice job. Big time throw. From the pocket, love it. So that was all up until the 2 minutes of the first half. Then it kind of goes sideways on him. So he misses a seam up top here on what I'm going to call a version of basically Haas juke, a little bit deeper version of it. But this is a throw that I think he either needs to not make or hit. And what I mean by that is this thing should be an interception. It goes right off the corner's hands, and they're fortunate to get a field goal out of this drive after a throw like this. You can see it up top. Skymail that thing. So for me, when he's in the pocket, and I haven't watched every single throw from Baker this year, but when he gets into trouble, for me, he gets toesy and late from the pocket. And I think that they do a nice job constructing plays for him to not have those opportunities. I mean by that is a lot of play action, a lot of down the field stuff. But for me, this is basically that juke move right here. We got a seam. Instead of a hitch, I think they run curls. So that's the concept. At the end of the day, it's the same principles as Haas juke. So he decides to rip this thing here. To me, this is just a read. You're going to read this, whoever, I want to say it's this guy right here. If he gets depth, come right here. It's just that, it's that simple. I think the seam is there. I think he just sky mails it. I think he gets toesy and the thing comes off his hand high. See that corner up top trying to play 2. That's a throw you can get up and down over that curl defender. Again, from the back end, I think you can see he gets a little toesy and the thing skies on him. Takes off. But again, that corner hits him in the hands. So again, 28, that's a guy you got to navigate as far as getting the ball up and down over his head on the left. Toesy, you know, right? To me, just a lot of unnecessary movement in his lower half. It's just that little extra bounce for whatever reason. It's just a lot of commotion going on lower half for what I don't think he has to do, whether he's thinking faster than he's playing or what. But it's kind of like he either can't pull the trigger fast enough or his body wants it to get out faster than he can get it out. It just doesn't look in rhythm. The sequence of it looks strange. Then this one, he sky mails to a little hook here. I don't think the throw necessarily is the issue, although it's high, and I think he gets toesy and heel clicky, but he misses Landry up top on a double move that they set up. This is a touchdown. You can see Landry's pissed. If he puts that on the top of the helmet, that's a walk-in. Watch him slam the wall. You know, you can tell he thought he just should have gotten that ball here, and I think he should. Again, this 2-minute drive, he wraps around there. Again, he's pump faking that little out. To me, toesy, again, I'll slow it down just from the back end when he lets this thing go. He pumps that out. I think he should throw it now, but now he's up on his toes. Toes, toes, toes. Sky mail. Fortunate that there's not somebody standing back there. Watch Landry. Boom, beware of dog. So again, one more time, concept-wise, you know, he would have to be the one to tell you why he doesn't throw this little double move out and up that they set up. They threw an out, I think, earlier going the other way. Out here, now granted, most times you wouldn't see the corner outside leverage here, but he does a nice job going inside of him, and it's a touchdown. You put that ball right here. He decides to throw this curl who wraps around the flat defender. Just makes it, I don't have a reason why he shouldn't throw this double move. He's looking there, he pumps it. It's a touchdown. I do think it's a little strange that that corner is backpedaling into the sideline like that, or bailing into the sideline. It's a little distorting, but you fake that out, throw it. And just the accuracy element of it is something that I usually attribute Baker's accuracy as one of his better characteristics. For this game, there were enough missed throws, getting toesy. Again, just looking at his lower half, his feet there into the ground, you know, just unnecessary movement, bouncing around, making life way more difficult. And then not pulling the trigger, vision things from the pocket. Some vision questions from within the pocket. None more important than this interception down the middle of the field. You know, trying to get a pipe here, to me, I think he gets a little confused on the coverage more than anything else. And then obviously the throw, you just can't have it. There's no way around it, whether he doesn't see it, whether he gets confused, whether he doesn't get the confirmation post-snap. There's a lot bad here. And we'll break it down and try to draw it up and see exactly what happens. But this ball needs to go to Landry, you know, pretty quickly. Right there. Boom, put it on him. I mean, it's nowhere near, you know, though it's one thing to throw interceptions. Guys are going to throw interceptions. That's part of playing the position. I think it's a little bit more concerning when they're wide misses or significant misses. And what I mean by that is, for me, watching this the first time, I kind of thought this was middle field open. So to me, this kind of looks like the potential middle field open, cover 2-ish shell here. Now, when I watch it, and this is what you have to do post-snap confirmation. So pre-snap, you think, all right, this looks like split field coverage. I kind of feel like he rolls back, and this becomes almost like a 3-cloud week. So we go here, here, and here. And when you do that, you absolutely cannot throw a ball down the middle of the field. So it's just not going to be there by design. So for me, the read here is here, 1, and then right around it, 2. And really all this is a high-low on this backer right here. If he gets any sort of depth, just take the underneath, live to fight another day. So again, it's 1, 2 with the high-low right here. So he falls into this thing, but I think he thinks it's alive because of the pre-snap look as opposed to the post-snap confirmation. So watch the shell kind of rotate back, that safety down here, bail. You know, it looks more like a 3-cloudish vibe. And I mean, that that post or middle field route is never there. That ball just needs to go to Landry. You've got the lead. You got to keep the momentum going, keep moving the ball, second and forever. You know, some of those earlier throws or not throwing double moves down the field, those are going to happen. These types of throws, though, you know, I think are obviously the most alarming. But again, watching 58 just get depth the entire time. Right there, the ball's on the 0 for Landry. Right shoulder, turn and run. As opposed to when he goes to throw this thing, you know, that's tough. That's real tough. I mean, it's 5 yards off. Whether it's miscommunication, poor decision, poor accuracy, all of the above, you know, it just kind of gets away from him a little bit once he gets into that 2 minute in the first half. Then the last one I put on here is a completion, but it's more kind of the epitome of what I think he is from the pocket right now. And it's just toesy. It's heel clicky. It's unnecessarily difficult. This is a throw on a little wrap to one of the best receivers in the game that I think he's got to be better. There's just no other way around it. And it doesn't have to be that hard. They're literally dropping 9 here. They're basically saying you cannot beat us from the pocket. And he barely does right here with the accuracy issue. You don't see a whole lot of drop 9 very often. Second and long, and the Colts are just basically giving him 2 middle fingers saying you cannot beat us from the pocket. And he does, sort of right here. What the concept here is basically a little whip route, a little in and out here, and a little wrap in. And so you just read this thing low to high. I think and really this thing is designed to get this guy right here. You want to come in here, kind of get the attention of these guys down here to the whip and rip it right above his head. Thing to pay attention to footwork wise is his back. When he gets to the back of his drop, his feet, the base needs to be apart as opposed to heel clicky where his feet hit each other. And he's got a lot of moving parts going forward for no reason. He doesn't have to do that. There's nobody rushing. They're rushing 2 guys. Again, just the footwork element of it here. It's just so hard to be consistent throwing the ball when you go from this looks good, just tight hitch it right there, as opposed to that's a full heel click, and that's a lot of moving parts. You just don't see a lot of everyday starters in the NFL have this show up anywhere consistently in their game. And it just makes life really difficult. And yeah, it's a hookup, but this could have been better. It could have been easier. It could have been more. Could have got some yak. Again, drop 8. Watch the 2-3 techniques drop here. I mean, there's nobody there. Unfortunately, the center is taking away our footwork shot. But you can tell he bounces up. You can see his body just kind of rise up to throw. It's just really hard when you change your eye level, your head isn't still, to be consistent. So that's a wrap. I'd like to thank Mr. 1920 again for sponsoring the video. I appreciate the support. Get over there in the link in the description. Again, Baker Mayfield, look for him to have some significant growth the rest of the season. If they continue to win, the Browns have got an opportunity to be really dangerous to that division and that conference as we get later and later into the year. Thanks so much for hanging to the end. I will see you next time. Have a good one.